Spectacular stuff. Still going. Whoa, what about that one? There's no way to stop him. He's straight through. We have just seen magic.
It's the Eels and the Titans in the first semi-final.
It's sudden death between Parramatta and the Gold Coast. Here is the Eels lineup. Jared Hayne, their hot-to-trot fullback, is there in the one jumper. There's one change, though, in their back line. Kristen Inu has succumbed to a hamstring injury, and Jonathan Wright takes his place in jumper 21. The rest of the team is as per program, and the coach is Daniel Anderson. There are plenty of positional changes for the Gold Coast Titans. William Zillman comes off the bench and takes the place of the fullback Preston Campbell. Campbell goes to 5'8", with Matt Rogers shifting back to the centres and Jordan Atkins going back to the bench. Also a swap in the front row with Michael Henderson taking the place of Matthew White. Their coach is John Cartwright. Scotty Prince leads out the Gold Coast Titans as they come to Sydney to try and keep their season alive. It is sudden death. The Gold Coast up against Parramatta. And they're trying to arrest what is now a two-game losing streak, the Gold Coast. They will need to continue on in 2009. Beaten last week, of course, in the All-Queensland Derby in Week 1 at home by the Brisbane Broncos. In round 26, it was a thrashing they copped at the hands of the Manly Sea Eagles, who have since been eliminated from this year's finals race. They're a hot-to-trot team when they're on song. We'll wait and see how they start this game. It could be very important, Laurie, for both these clubs to get off and running early on.
They're a very confident football team, the Gold Coast Titans, and when they are on song, as you mentioned, they can rattle up points. I think the fact that they've never been beaten by Parramatta will give them a great deal of confidence coming here tonight, although they're taking on this team, the Parramatta Eels, who have gained all the momentum over the last 10 weeks of the competition. They've only lost once in that 9-game winning streak. Will they make it 10? They look focused, they look ready, and the prize is, of course, they take on the Bulldogs next Friday night if they can win.
That's what's up for grabs here tonight. The last time the Eels took on the Titans was in round 18. Of course, the Eels lost that one on Monday Night Football, as it turned out. But they went on a 7-game winning streak off the back of it. And here they are, of course, in September, which seemed very unlikely at the middle stage of this 2009 season. He has been too hot to handle in recent time, the Dally M medal winner. If they can do a job of containing him tonight, the Titans will go a long, long way to winning this one. But up front, the battle will be very important between the likes of Fui Moi Moi and also Luke Bailey.
Well, there's an old saying in semi-final football, you need your big men to go forward and establish a platform. If they do that, they give the likes of your superstars room to move. And there's not a hotter player in the game at the moment than Jared Hayne. He's been in superlative form. Some of the things he's been able to do on a football field has been out of this world. We'll wait and see whether he can reproduce that type of form.
As you would expect, of course, a pro-Parramatta crowd here tonight. They'll have 99.9% of the support here at the football stadium. Luke Burt, as Parramatta have surged, his form has also surged. It's been terrific for them in this incredible run. Their only slip-up came in round 26 against the Dragons. They rectified that in no uncertain terms last week in week 1 of the finals. Time blown on by Shane Hayne and Jared Maxwell. Also, our referees tonight. The kick goes down to Jonathan Wright, who is in the side for Kristen Inu, who is once again out with a hamstring injury. Moi Moi it is, who works it up beyond the 30-metre line. They played in the heats last Sunday afternoon. Parramatta will wait and see what they took perhaps out of their legs as Hindmarsh is swamped here by an advancing Gold Coast Titans defensive line. Here's Hayne going back to the left-hand side to Todd Lowry. And there may be a problem already. Ashley Harrison colliding there with Todd Lowry, who has been terrific for Parramatta. And he might have taken an awful head knock, or did he ever, as they came together there.
Well, he just bounced right out of that tackle. It's a nasty head clash for Ashley Harrison. He looked as though he was out straight away. And the referee blew timeout. He's in the arms of the trainer. But this will not be a great start for the Titans if he has to leave the field. He's an origin player. You need your big match players in the early exchanges. And this could be a significant blow to the Titans early. John Cartwright working the walkie-talkie. Sam Tagatese getting ready to come onto the field.
And he would be shocked, perhaps not as shocked as John Cartwright, as he looks on again, and you see Ashley Harrison. Well, he's still not on his feet. He looked to be pretty unwell, didn't he? And we'll wait and see whether he can return tonight to help them out. But the way he's leaving the field at the moment, he's a tough type. But he'll need to be able to shake that knock off to make it back on the field here this evening. 35 seconds on the clock, and the Titans about to make their first replacement. John Cartwright describes Sam Tagatese as somebody who could be a real weapon for us in the finals campaign. Well, he will need to be getting a chance in the opening minute of the game here to replace Ashley Harrison. Boy, it was a nasty one, wasn't it? We've seen a few in the back half of the season. That one could well knock Ashley Harrison out of the game. They will take him straight up the tunnel to assess his condition. On comes Tagatese. He can play in the centres, he can play in the back row, which is where he'll need to play to begin this game. A change made by the Gold Coast inside the first 60 seconds. Here's Keating out of dummy half, giving it to Jared Hayne, who will hoist it high in the air from halfway. Some pressure here on William Zillman. Fresh back after missing a month of football, of course, for a suspension. Hasn't played since round 23, and he got a test straight up as Mead works it away from dummy half.
He would have been very nervous there, William Zillman, looking to inject himself into the game. Your first touch in a final, it has to be your best touch of the game. You can't afford to make a mistake.
There's LaFranchi working it down the right-hand side of the field. He works right. Minicello, his back row partner, works the left-hand side. Now they don't have Harrison, of course. It's Tagatese will have to step up. They go to Prince, who kicks under a little bit of pressure. Down the short side it goes. They'll pick out the man in those bright red boots. We'll see what sort of job they can do on Jared Hayne tonight as far as the kick returns go. We saw, of course, earlier in the season, the Gold Coast Titans take Billy Slater, the Melbourne Storm star, out of the game by kicking dead repeatedly and making the Storm work from a 20-metre restart. We'll wait and see what they do tonight, but no sign of that from Prince with his first kick of the game. Kalis will play it just beyond the Parramatta 30-metre line. Enjoying being back in the finals campaign. Here they come to the right-hand side. Ben Smith will slot it in nicely on this side of the field for the Eels in the back row. Certainly big and rangy enough to be playing as a back row, and that's where his future looks to lie. The kick from Hayne again comes down to David Mead, who certainly can scoot. If they kick to him tonight, their chase will need to be very good.
They've got some real speedsters in this side, the Gold Coast Titans, and David Mead would probably be the quickest of them. The real flyers, he and Kevin Gordon, as Minicello looks to unload the ball to Tagatese, and that'll be an important element of Parramatta's play tonight, their offloading skills.
They lead the NRL in the offloads, and they limit their opponents to the fewest offloads as well. No team gives up fewer offloads than the Eels have in 2009. Here is Minicello playing it for Friends. Now Bailey. Good straight run by the veteran up towards the halfway line. They'll kick here from outside the 40. Prince at the advantage line and scampering quickly when he put the kick in. Driving it long down to the uprights where Hayne takes it in one hand and brings it back out. Picked up in the air and dragged backwards. Friend got underneath him. With LaFranchi over the top, they took him back a couple of metres towards his own line. Right it is, Jonathan looking for a fast play the ball, and we'll get one here as well. And give it off to Lowry, who brings it forward. Not eventful that one after what happened last time around in a similar position with the collision with Harrison. Now Hindmarsh taking it back towards the short side. 4 plays gone. They're just outside their own 30-metre line. They take it through the middle. Robson just tipping it on. And they'll play it there through Kalis. Here's Keating now, giving it back to the halfback, who puts a kick in, not a deep one. In fact, coming forward, Gordon will take it on the gallop as well and bring it back beyond the 40 on play number 1. So a good set of 6 defensively by the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, and he was lucky there, Sam Tagatese. He wasn't penalised for taking out Daniel Mortimer late. But this is what semi-final football is all about. Applying pressure with your defence and last tackle plays. Making sure that the opposition are under pressure, you receiving the ball in good field position, and in this set of 6, the Titans have achieved it.
Here's Campbell now as they go to a back line, stacked on that right-hand side. Prince showing his hand, kicking early, a chance for Walker, but Hayne gets across and takes the ball out of play, and the Gold Coast Titans will get 6 more tackles from a scrum food.
I like that tactic from the Gold Coast Titans. They will keep the outside men of Parramatta guessing. They like to jam up. They like to jam up and in. And Jared Hayne at times can get caught in field. He can get caught around the posts. And I think Scotty Prince's attacking kicking game can provide some points for the Titans tonight. A great opportunity here from a set start.
John Cartwright, the Titans coach, was critical a number of areas last week of the refereeing, but very importantly about the 10 metres, which he thought was very narrow. Seemed to be a bit more space between these two teams so far tonight. And the Titans working it down into good position right here. Here's Friend now. Waiting at dummy half, going to the left-hand side for Bailey. Chopped down there and a good tackle by Moi. But they're up inside the 10. Too quickly off the line. Was Fui, says Shane Hayne. And they'll get 6 more tackles here if they elect to not take the 2 points from right beside the uprights. They are going to take the 2. Boy, a conservative approach in their first real chance inside the Parramatta 20 to take the 2 and not put a bit of pressure on.
Yeah, I'm okay with that to start the game. I think early in the contest, if you're down there, take the 2 points, just settle the nerves. You can have a good opportunity now to talk to your team. You've got to remember they lost Ashley Harrison, a key component of the makeup of the footy team. He can ball play. He takes a bit of pressure off Scotty Prince. They can come to terms with that. They can speak about it, identify what role they're now playing. And Fui found offside. And Scotty Prince just electing to kick for goal. And there you can see Ashley Harrison. That's a good sign for the Titans. Walking around in the dressing shed with a football in his arm. There's every indication there that he will be back to play a role in this game at some stage.
As a player who has been taken from the field with a concussion, you couldn't give a better signal to your coach and the medical staff that you're ready to go, other than walking around the room with a football under your arm saying, boys, I am ready to go when required. There's Hayne again coming across in front of the speedsters. Walker, of course, playing at right centre. David Mead outside him. They can really fly those two. And the likes of Burt and also Jonathan Wright will have their hands full on that side of the field. Scotty Prince from just about in front will give the Titans a lead here after 7 minutes. They lead Parramatta 2 points to 0 in the semi-final. Sudden death, the winner takes on the Bulldogs next week. Remembering, going back to what happened last Sunday, of course, at Cogra, Laurie, the Eels, under sustained pressure from the Dragons, held them out. Eventually, the Dragons, in a similar position, took the 2 points. Parramatta took a fair bit from that. A different situation tonight as far as the pressure on Parramatta, but they might be thinking in the back of their minds, well, here we go again, another team taking the 2 against us. Boys, they're a bit concerned about our defence. Let's keep it tight and see if they can do that right here. Here's Henderson in a starting role tonight with White working off the bench. Minicello taking it just beyond the Gold Coast 20. 2-0. Rogers wearing 6, playing at left centre to begin this game after playing plenty of fullback in recent times, and of course suffering that nasty knock himself in the loss to the Broncos last week. Came down heavily on his neck and shoulder, and there was some concern about his taking part tonight, but he's okay, of course. His friend goes to Prince, who kicks from just outside Parramatta's 40. They've had the better by far of the field position so far. And here's Luke Burt under some pressure himself. Scotty Prince looking for a shot to rattle him up as they come back to the middle of the field for Jared Hayne. Taken there by Minichillo. They'll try and expose Preston Campbell if they can on this left-hand side of the field. Here he is, having Eric Groth run at him as he takes it up towards the Parramatta 30. Hindmarch. Good run of about 10 or so. Plenty of touches already for the man from the Southern Highlands. Back in the finals in 2009, still looking for that elusive first premiership day. Juggled by Hayne. No pressure on him. He chips over the top as a result. Toes it forward, but the ball bounces up for Zillman, who brings it back and is stopped outside his own 40-metre line.
Well, he's prepared to try anything, Jared Hayne, and that's what makes him so good. You do not know what he's going to produce. And now the Parramatta team have given away a penalty. And the supporters, the Parramatta supporters, aren't happy. But Jared Hayne, look at this man. Looking as though he's kicking long, just throws it on his feet at the last moment. He doubles up with a kick. Unfortunately, he couldn't get there. And the ball landed in Zillman's arms. And Wright coming up with a double play on Mead and also Scotty Prince.
The penalty was against Luke Burt for coming in with what the referees deemed to be a flop. Let's put them under pressure again. His friend works it away to Prince. They go to Bailey. They just bump it forward, 10 metres out. They lead by 2. A chance to extend that lead right here as Friend runs a long way, gives it to Campbell. He had Zillman with him, but Zillman overran the play slightly. Campbell had to come back to the middle, harassed by Hindmarsh. It bullocks him to the ground, one-on-one in front of the uprights. Friend gives it to Minichillo. He tries his luck from close range. Nothing doing there, though. Hindmarsh making another tackle, 11 already in the game. Campbell out the back, grubbering. Some pressure here on Burt. The kick, though, is too big. They had their problems last week against the Broncos, the Titans, with their short kicking game, and that one relieves the pressure on Parramatta.
Yeah, it wasn't the kick that the Titans were after. They needed it to stay in the end goal. I still think there's value on the other side of the field, kicking in behind Eric Groth and Joel Reddy. They get up extremely hard. There's some real speedsters on this side of the field with Rogers and Kevin Gordon. They were playing away from Scotty Prince a bit in that set as well. He was acting as a decoy.
Here's Moy. Play at 8 on his own side of halfway. Back for Keating. Harris taking it forward, met there by LaFranchi. And also Henderson. Keating again. Comes to Robson. All the way to Ben Smith, who runs over the top of Matty Rogers, but coming from the inside, he got some help from Minichillo. The kick from Robson from dummy half will bounce up to William Zillman. They're kicking from long range at least to begin this game. Parramatta hasn't been all that good. Pretty much directed at Zillman every time. And again, as Gordon takes it forward, here are the Titans winning that field position battle. Now, Daniel Mortimer coming from the field on the far side was rattled up a couple of times early in the game, took a knock to the hip in the opening couple of minutes and is now out of the game. So a worry for both sides, but that one is a major one for Parramatta with their rookie and star 5'8" out of the game after 10 or so minutes.
I've got no doubt it happened when he was kicking the football and Tagatese made a play on him. I thought it looked dodgy when it happened, and he's now leaving the field. It'll be interesting to see what he's left the field with, and that was a shocking play. The ball from Luke Burt, lucky to get away with it, and Freddie Mateo looks as though he's the replacement on now for Daniel Mortimer.
Well, they're fortunate to have somebody of Freddie Mateo's skill to call on as Parramatta get their first penalty. The Titans up inside the 10. They're going to be tough on the 10 to begin with, both Shane Hayne and Jared Maxwell by the looks of things. But there is Tagatese, the man who came through and put that pressure on Daniel Mortimer. And Mortimer, as a result of that contact around the hip or upper thigh, out of the game for the moment. Mateo giving it off to Moy. Their hair dropped back. Henderson came up to meet him. And it was quite something when they came together. Now Kalis out the back from Robson. Ben Smith showing it, getting past Scott Prince, losing the ball. It's not play on, they say. It was lost of his own accord and not stripped out by a Titan.
Well, they're prepared to move the football, Parramatta, down the edges. And Fui Moi, the clash with Michael Henderson. Get that into you. But he held on. And Ben Smith has been in terrific form, getting through the attempted tackle from Scott Prince, losing the ball forward. That's a let-off for the Titans. And that's a sorry sight for Parramatta. Daniel Mortimer has left the field, walking up the tunnel.
Wait.
In no hurry to get there. Not a terrific sign for Daniel Mortimer. Wait and see if he can return. The Titans hoping likewise that Ashley Harrison is able to return tonight. Parramatta make their first mistake of the game. The Titans so far perfect. 8 from 8 sets they've completed. For Frankie, bringing it back to the 40-metre line. His friend goes to Bailey, who works in behind the play the ball. He'll play it on his own side of halfway. It was ironic that it was Scotty Prince who missed that tackle on Ben Smith as Prince puts a kick in himself here. He just swapped sides defensively with Preston Campbell. Campbell had gone from the left to the right, and Prince had gone from the right to the left. They've swapped back over for this next set of 6. We'll wait and see how many times John Cartwright moves them around tonight. A kick which went comfortably dead by Scotty Prince. Perhaps they might have reverted to that tactic of taking Jared Hayne out of the play by making Parramatta work it away from the 20 as Robson gets away from tackles. Grabbed by Zellman. Had Reddy or Growth got there in time to link up, it might have been very interesting. Here's Reddy getting an offload away. If they can keep it alive, they'll do some damage. Here's Hayne stepping, showing it, fending away from Chris Walker. Coming again is Walker, and he stops him 35 metres out. Oh, then he goes over the top of Jared Hayne. For a moment there, he looked like Greg Louganis.
He was on the ball. He was riding the ball. And then he just flipped. And Jared Hayne earns his team a penalty, and a good penalty, given that they're 30 metres out from the try line. Chris Walker, he gets pushed away, and Hayne loses his footing.
As a result of that, Fui it is who plays it just outside the Gold Coast 20. Kalis working it forward, grabbed there by Minicello. They're set to the left-hand side where Mortimer usually occupies his place on that left, but now it's Fletty Mateo waiting for a pass. Keating to Robson, who gives it to Moi again. It's Henderson in front of him with some help from Nathan Friend this time. They stop him 10 metres out. Robson gives it to Hayne. They're up in his face. Tagatese putting the pressure on and forcing the mistake.
It was great defence from Tagatese. He put the pressure on from the inside. He really attacked, he zeroed in, he had eyes for Jared Hayne, and he forces the error. And Tagatese, not expecting to be in the contest so early, but when Ashley Harrison left the field, he was given a big responsibility, as has Michael Henderson in the starting side. He has met Fui head on a couple of times. A couple of times he's been on the end of it, but he's very willing. He's a tough customer.
You'll be seeing him in his sleep when his head hits the pillow tonight. Brad Myers, the lumberjack, about to come on for the Gold Coast Titans as John Cartwright goes to his bench once again. Almost 17 minutes gone, nothing between them. The lone penalty from Scotty Prince, the difference at the moment. Rogers, 15 on his own side of halfway, plays it here for Friend. He goes across to Prince, not much doing until he gave an out ball, a good one as well, to Walker, who was able to beat Jonathan Wright. Mateo came to knock him to the ground, and then Wright got back to his feet to finish off the tackle. LaFranchi goes to Prince, now Myers, threatening to back into them and offloaded, with Prince wrapping around him, but he took the tackle. Last play, 30 metres out, Prince hooks it away from Jared Hayne. Boy, if that was a bomb intended for some chasers, it was a poor one. I can't believe he was trying to kick it dead purposely on that occasion.
No, I think it's a missed kick. There was too much on it. And that's what you can't afford to do against Parramatta. You need to make the most of your fifth tackle options inside the opposition 20-metre zone. Be interesting to see how Parramatta handle the loss of Daniel Mortimer. Mortimer's been great at harassing the opposition this year, whether it be through a kick chase, marker play, or just teasing them when he's running the football. Feleti Matei's a more flamboyant player. He will risk and throw a pass here and there. And they've relied on that, but they've also relied on Daniel Mortimer's ability to get involved in the game.
Offload from Taylor, sets them in motion. Now Mateo turning it back on the inside for Lowry. He pulls through a hole. He gets a pass away. Picked up brilliantly by Jonathan Wright. Magic hands to retain possession for Parramatta. Lowry goes back to the short side. Bird chips over the top. A good kick as well. And some super Parramatta play has forced a goal line dropout.
Some tremendous play from Parramatta. The skill level on display was magnificent. And Todd Lowry, unsigned for 2010, he's been in a real purple patch over the last 10 weeks, playing the best football of his career. Lovely pick-up from Jonathan Wright. And then Luke Burt, another great pick-up. The sense of mind to chip over the top. It landed in the arms of Anthony LaFranchi. He takes it dead. And the Titans are now under pressure. Tremendous work from Parramatta. The skill level in this team has just grown and grown as the season has gone on.
Here is Moi again charging at them. Friend was there. Hansen was also there. Meeting number 3. There'll be plenty more. Now Kalis getting another offload away. Robson to Lowry. Wrapped up by Myers. 20 metres out from the Titans line. Keating showing it once, giving it to Hindmarsh. He ran into Nathan Friend and also Bailey. Friend in there stripping at the ball. He'll need to be careful. He dropped off and trying to knock it away from Hindmarsh's hands. Now Keating to Mateo. At the line. Too much for LaFranchi. He gives it a jig. He gives it a shake. And he gives Parramatta a lead. What a run by Feleti Mateo off the back of the goal line dropouts. The Eels lead 4 points to 2, and what a replacement he is for Daniel Mortimer.
Well, he's a weapon to have off the bench for Parramatta. He's a different style of player to Daniel Mortimer, but this is what he's capable of. Holding the ball out in 2 hands, making the opposition guess. He gives it a shake. A one-on-one miss from Anthony LaFranchi, and then the shoulders come together. He and Ben Smith up in the air. Feleti Mateo, a man that possesses all the skills. They look good, Parra. They look like there's no sign of fatigue. They're on their game. Their structures are looking good, and they're creating some offloads and some space all over the paddock.
He grabs his first try, Feleti Mateo, since round 2. A lean season for him as far as 4-pointers go, but of course he missed much of the season with a bicep injury. Now Luke Burt adds the extra 2. He makes it 6 points to 2, to the delight of this massive Parramatta crowd, of course, here at Moore Park, a long way from their heartland, as Ashley Harrison comes down the tunnel and back to the bench for the Gold Coast Titans. Anthony LaFranchi spoke during the week about the pain of losing his New South Wales jumper. His form has been below par on recent seasons in 2009, and at times his defence on the goal line has been exposed. It certainly was again by Mateo right there as they compound things, the Titans, by kicking out on the full on the restart, and Parramatta about to come right back at them.
Well, they need to be careful here, the Gold Coast Titans. Last week against the Broncos, they gave up a big lead. They tried to run them down in the second half, but they didn't have enough time. They can ill afford Parramatta to go back-to-back. They have to stay positive, the Titans. Their body language needs to stay strong.
.22 gone in this first half. The Eels looking to make this perhaps a double-figure lead in this next set of 6. Nathan Kalis, who's been very good to begin the game with his offloads, playing it for Keating. Now Moy again. Hindmarsh running straight and hard, just like the old days, pouring onto the ball, threatening to make a break. LaFranchi got a touch on the ball, no call. towards 6 again at least at the moment. The tackle count will continue on. Smith it is, playing at 8 metres out. Keating for Moi. Charging at them, LaFranchi was there, so was Bailey. Good tackle by the Bull to stop Fui about a metre out from the Gold Coast line. They thrash around eventually. He makes it back to his feet. Here's Robson. Back on the inside for Kalis. Behind Marsh. Spinning, but stopped by LaFranchi and also Prince. A desperate tackle. They go to the short side. Here's Mateo again. This time he loses his footing. Last play. Keating picked it up. Past Robson it goes. Hayne picks it up. Look out. He runs away from Friend. Stops. Fens. Gets going again. What will he do? Possibly anything. He shows it. Runs to Campbell. He's still going. Went to ground. Play on for the moment. They'll say knock on. My goodness. The Dally M winner, showing why he's the best player in the competition. Absolutely nothing doing. He almost got there.
Well, he just drifted across the field. In the end, the Titans have done a good job to stop a try. Preston Campbell, he needed to make that tackle on Jared Hayne. But Hayne, he's so dangerous when he receives ball from second phase play. Going against a staggered defensive line, really impossible to stop. Wonderful to watch.
He is the quintessential kid in the backyard, just mucking around with his mates, isn't he? Prince firing a long ball. Wright was looking for an intercept. It bounced up, luckily for the Titans, to David Mead. And he'll play it here, 35 metres out from the Parramatta line. We'll see what sort of kick they can get away here. Prince off the outside of the boot, rolling it towards Jared Hayne, who picked it up off his bright red bootlaces. He brings it back to the Eels 20.
Well, they're doing well to hang in here, the Titans. Giving it all the momentum is certainly with Parramatta. Eric Grove carrying the football, looking to offload. Joel Reddy now with the football in his hands, but the Titans are willing. But now they've given away a penalty for being inside the 10. And these piggyback penalties are hurting them.
Well, they played a big advantage right there, waiting to see what was going to happen. And the moment it shut down with Joel Reddy, the whistle blew. There is Daniel Morton with some ice on the left hip. Just above the hip, perhaps, below the ribs. It was a fair shot he took in the opening minutes from Sam Tagatese, who himself was just on the field replacing Ashley Harrison. We saw Fui Moi come off the field. What an opening stint from him. Joe Nullarbau is out there now. Mateo stops 40 metres out from the Titans line. They'll play it here for Wright. Go for a scamper himself from dummy half. He straightens as he comes towards Myers. Wrapped up there by Harrison, who is back on the field now for the Gold Coast. Showing it a number of times was Keating, who thought he copped one high there from Luke Bailey. He might have had a fair case. Here's Hayne, chipping back against the grain away from Zillman. Off an upright. Now there's trouble. Picked up by the Eels. They could score a bonus try. Nullarbau has it. They'll get 6 more tackles. The pass goes beyond Robson to Smith, who runs towards Minicello, who wraps him up 10 out from the Titans line. Hayne at dummy half. He'll go to Robson. He goes to the line. Almost got through them as well. Grabbed only just by LaFranchi. They're hanging on for the moment, the Titans. Now Mateo turns it back underneath for Hindmarsh. He had them coming up quickly out wide. It'll log that down for perhaps later in this set of 6. Robson to Jared Hayne again, giving it to Ben Smith, who was half through a hole. Grabbed there by Campbell. He put the ball down. And while the ball goes out of play, there'll be no advantage here to the Gold Coast. And they will get possession through the scrum, 10 out from their own line.
Well, they're just hanging on. John Cartwright working the phone. Ben Smith is looking dangerous on this right edge of the field. He can hit a hole. He's one-on-one with Preston Campbell. Preston under the legs, brings him down. And that's a pass well worth throwing there from William Zillman. If it goes into the arms of Kevin Gordon, here's a chance of running 100 metres. But it's building nicely for the Parramatta Eels. You just sense that they're on their game. They just need to be clinical at the end of their sets. They can get it right at the end. There's certainly points there for them.
They look to have so many options, don't they? Hayne playing the roving role as he's done all the way through the second half of the season. He's likely to crank him every time he gets the ball. Now Friend from dummy half, giving it from back on the inside. Zillman. They have a nice ball for Walker. He's made a career out of that, Chris Walker, but he was chopped down well by the inside defence of the Parramatta forwards. Here's White. Will play it to the Parramatta territory. When he does, Prince's kick away from Jared Hayne. He gets there though, tracking across the field to take it on the full, and he'll take the tackle inside his own 20.
That was great work from the Parramatta forwards there, making the tackle on Chris Walker. Chris Walker's like our Greg Inglis. When he's in field, he's there for a reason. More than likely, he's after the football and he will receive it. So you need to be communicating from outside in.
Timmy Manor playing it just outside the 30 as Daniel Anderson goes to his bench once again. Luke Bailey also getting a rest, with John Cartwright making another change for the Titans. Nullavow now met a good tackle. Minicello up in his face and crunched him at the halfway line. Robson's kick will find David Mead on the full. Again, they come down the field in a straight line, sensing the urgency you need. And this 22-year-old flyer has the ball in his hands, and he plays it here for Friend. Now Zillman. In that break, he was out for 4 weeks, of course, with a suspension for the incident involving Jamie Simpson in the Rabbitohs game in round 23. Went through a little arthroscope operation, which John Cartwright told us about on NRL on Fox during the week. But he looks to be okay. No worries with Zillman. Now Prince turning it back on the inside for Walker. Good tackle, though, by Todd Lowry. He's become an important cog in this Parramatta machine. Harrison fending away from a couple of tackles, giving it off to Campbell. He's under pressure. The ball comes away, and the referee will say 6 more tackles. This will be the 0 right here for Rogers and the Titans. Prince from dummy half. As they work it forward through Matthew White, he'll play it 25 metres out from the Parramatta line. Scotty Prince in there behind the plate, working the forwards forward, setting himself for an option. Here's Friend. Not a bad one to find. LaFranchi charging onto it from close range. He's stopped a couple of metres out. Friend goes to the right. Here's Campbell trying to get away from Mateo. He was able to do so. Grabbed by Jonathan Wright, who wraps him up 10 metres out. 4 plays gone. Here's Harrison just taking it forward. Bumping it forward for Prince on the last. Here he is at first receiver. Grubbering, played at, knocked backwards, picked up by Jeff Robson. Terrific knockdown and catch by the halfback.
The skill level was superb from Robson. Hasn't he improved his football, Jeff Robson? Couldn't really establish himself as a first-grade player. Brett Finch left to go and play with the Melbourne Storm. He found himself in the halves with young Daniel Mortimer and has not looked out of place. Brings a real composure to this football team.
That was an important stop on the grubber from Scotty Prince, and again, a short kick by the Titans. Doesn't find a result. A kick from Keating from dummy half now, and Gordon scurrying back there. There's a bit of angle on it. It was a chance to be a 40-20. The winger took that out of the equation, and he brings it back beyond the 30. Still, the Eels lead by 4 with half an hour gone.
Well, it's a really important 10 minutes coming up here for the Gold Coast Titans. All week they would have spoken about their start to be in the game going into half-time. Now they're starting to come fatigued. They make an error and they put themselves under pressure.
Mark Minicello got up absolutely blowing up at a couple of his teammates, and it's that man, Brad Myers, who stuck out a big left hand. The ball bounced away from it. While he was facing his own goal line, the referees pretty quickly said, "You've touched that one." Having had a look at that one, they got the call right.
They got it right. Daniel Mortimer in the shed's hip, getting strapped. Well, that's a good sign. Getting strapped. They may sit him on the bench in case they need him.
For the moment, they're okay. They lead by a try. Right it is, who will play at 35 away from the Gold Coast line. Birds comes to Mateo. Here's Lowry, changing the angle as he comes through, but well stopped by Ashley Harrison. There's nothing wrong with the lock forward. Now Lowry puts the ball down, but luckily for the Eels, they get the penalty because Harrison has been ruled to be throwing a hand in there, fighting with Lowry as he attempted to play the ball.
This is another big penalty against the Titans. Their scramble defence has been great. The Titans are hanging on. They're repelling the Parramatta side, but you cannot give them too many opportunities inside your 20-metre zone.
Hand on the ball was the call from the referees against the Gold Coast Titans. 5 straight penalties to the Eels after the Titans got the first 2 of the game. Here's Hindmarsh, nothing doing. He had Joe Nullavow pushing up in support, but he decided to take the tackle himself. They come to Keating down the short side. They go past Hayne to give it to Reddy, but there's plenty of white jumpers in front of him. He'll play it still about 5 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Hayne at dummy half. Fires it through the hands there of Manor. It goes to Robson. They come back on the angle. He'll play it about 12 metres out. Keating goes to Mateo, getting the first receiver. Out the back, it goes to Robson. A cut-out ball. There was some real pressure there. On right to come up with a pass. Had Mead gone for the ball, he goes 90 metres to score. Now Robson's kick. Some jumpers out there. Ben Smith is one of them and comes down with it. And the Eels have their second try of the night. What a catch by the man who used to be a centre. Now he's a second rower, but he can still jump. And he pulled down a beautiful kick by Robson.
Playing some of the best football of his career, Ben Smith. 21 tackles tonight, roaming on this right side of the field. He's looked dangerous when he's carried the ball. And now he's just shown us another element to his game. The ball in the air, leaping for it. He came down with it. And you can see the jubilation in the faces of the Parramatta players. And that was off the back of a mistake, a push pass when the Titans were hanging on. They were hanging on. Their scramble defence was persistent. And then one error, then penalty. Parramatta has made them pay.
He grabs his first try, Ben Smith, since round 21 of 2007. He's been unlucky with injuries over the past couple of seasons. With a serious knee injury which kept him out of football for a long time. But he's back in a big way. And Luke Burt converts to make it 12 points to 2. It looks ominous with the possession they've had in recent times, Parramatta. Ben Smith just plucking it out of the arms of Matt Rogers. There was no match for the big second rower height-wise, was he?
No. It's been an excellent decision from Daniel Anderson to move him from the centres. Probably lost a yard of pace and lacking some mobility, but Parramatta from the kickoff prepared to pass the ball across the face of goal. And Joe Nullavow is the man playing it 12 metres out from his own line.
Boy, they're playing with some confidence, aren't they? Here's Lowry, who's been good on that left edge again tonight so far. 4 minutes out from the break and they lead by 10. Mateo giving it for Hindmarsh. Everybody standing up. Off short rest, of course. 24 hours less rest. The Gold Coast Titans for Parramatta. And he played in the warm conditions at Cobra last Sunday as Manor makes a good bullocking run. Almost back to his own 40 when he plays it. Here's Nullavow going to Robson. He was almost able to get away there from Minicello, but they'll play it here on the last. Keating will give it back to Hayne. He hooks it again back across his body. David Mead coming in. They'll straighten up the chase line. Mateo was down there early. And he got some help with Nullavow and also Manor coming up to make it a straight line. Here's Zillman giving it off to Matt Rogers. Hasn't had too many chances on this left-hand side of the field so far. They really haven't tested out the likes of Derek Growth, who likes to push up in defence in his own side of halfway, looking for an intercept. They're looking to jam an attacker. Not really testing him out as yet with a kick in behind. Harrison playing for Friend. He gives it away for LaFranchi. Keating might have got a bit of a head start there from Marker. LaFranchi came back on the angle at him with that right foot, as he usually does. Now Friend finds Prince. Chips it in behind them. Looking to get there himself. Tapped backwards by Robson to Jared Hayne. They can do no wrong.
Well, everything's bouncing for Parramatta. We speak about the skill level of Parramatta, but they've built their victories in the back half of this season on defence. You take out that poor performance against the Dragons where they conceded plenty of points in round 26 as they've turned the ball over.
And while it would have been a one-on-one strip, had the Titans come up with it, there is the one-on-one strip, but Scott Prince propelling the ball towards the Parramatta goal line. Hence a knock on against the Gold Coast Titans captain.
Well, we just spoke about bouncing the ball going Parramatta's way, but talking about Parramatta's defence, if you take that game in round 26 out of the equation for Parramatta, on average they're only conceding around 9 points a game for the last 9 weeks. That's massive.
They might have finished 8th. They are a massive chance, aren't they, to run away with the premiership from the bottom of the top 8. They've been close, of course. Most recently in 2001, beaten in the grand final by the Newcastle Knights when they trailed 24 points to 0 at half-time. That one certainly hurt. They had a great chance in 2005. Preliminary final also in 2007, beaten by the Storm at Etihad Stadium. At the moment, they're on track with a clash on the Bulldogs in front of what will be a huge audience at ANZ Stadium next week, but there's still plenty of time to go. Half a game of football to try and hold out these Titans right here at the football stadium tonight.
Momentum is a wonderful thing to have coming into finals. And Parramatta have developed that over the back end of this season. As they came up with a mistake there, the Gold Coast Titans, they'll look to form this scrum quickly, Parramatta. They'll have 20 seconds left on the clock and maybe 2 plays. Well, that's a poor error from the Titans, and this could prove crucial.
There's a simple put down as well from Ashley Harrison, who was heavily concussed in the opening 30 seconds of the game. He spent half of the first half back in the sheds before coming back on. But that mistake puts them under big pressure here. Here's Jared Hayne. What will they go to? He goes to the line, grabbed there by Minicello. Eventually he takes him to ground. 30 metres out from the Titans line. Robson, perhaps their last play on the run around, tries to get in behind them, will go to ground, wants to fast play the ball. The siren will sound, but not before they get a kick in through a field goal attempt by Jared Hayne, and he adds the extra 1. Every point counts tonight, and Jared Hayne gives the Eels an 11-point lead on the stroke of half-time. The mistake by Harrison cost his team a point. Jared says the 1 will do, and it might be the deciding point by full-time. Who knows? We'll take a break. Shane Hayne, our referee, blows time back on. The Eels defending an almost 2 converted try margin as we get underway in this second half. And it's Brad Myers who brings it back out for the Gold Coast. He'll play a 20 out from his own line. They've dropped their last 2 games, giving up some big scores at the same time. They'll need to be very good defensively in their second half to hold out the Eels, to give themselves a chance of coming from behind right here. Matthew White will play it for Friend, who goes across the 40-metre line, scampering back to the halfway. Some good metres in this first set of 6 at least for the Gold Coast to begin the second period. Come to the right-hand side. The kick from Prince. A bounce up for Jared Hayne. Taking it his own 10-metre line and brings it back out for a gain of 10 on the kick. He'll be stopped there by Friend and also Harrison.
It was a good set for your first set after half-time. They got in between defenders. They created quick play the balls. That's what they need to do. Nathan Friend getting out of dummy half, getting his forwards on the advantage. If they can dent Parramatta and get them going backwards, as Eric Grove is throwing a football out the back, a speculator.
Now ready, giving it to Jared Hayne, who fends away from Walker. He is so hard to stop. Absolutely standing still when he got the ball, and suddenly he was beating defenders and running away. And he might have suffered a head clash there as well with Chris Walker, who eventually wrapped him up. He stays on the ground for the moment, perhaps just dazed him. The tackle was completed. Here is Tim Manor standing in a tackle. Hayne looks to be okay as the trainer comes straight onto the field to check him out. Now Manor playing it for Keating. Robson under some pressure. Campbell dropping off on the pressure though as the kick was put in. Will bounce up a couple of times there for David Mead to bring it back towards the 40. The Gold Coast Titans have it in good position. Start this set of 6. Well, they had that in the opening exchanges in that first half as well. Produced 2 points off the back of it as Zillman plays it here on his own side of halfway.
Well, they need to find ways to get their little men, their quick little men into the game. Getting over the advantage line, getting between defenders allows Friend to come into the contest. Then we need Rogers. Now we need to see Campbell. We also need to see Prince running across field, playing people under, turning people under, then play to the outside.
There is got to be Prince going deep for Preston Campbell in behind the decoy run there of Minicello, but there wasn't much happening on that left-hand side of the field. Now Campbell gets an offload away, but Matt Rogers, I'm prepared to say, has barely touched the ball in Parramatta territory so far in this game. He might get a chance right here. Here he is, chasing a kick from Scott Prince. Hayne under pressure and somehow stays in the field of play.
It just shows you the strength of the man. Jared Hayne looked as though he's going to be forced over the sideline, but stays in the field. That's a good second tackle from the Titans. And now Parramatta are the team under pressure, working it off their own try line. They need to be strong here. No penalties for the Titans.
Sort of kick they needed to produce a couple of times more in the first half. Now Manor poking his nose through the defensive line. 4 plays gone and still Daniel Mortimer with Father Peter in the Parramatta dressing room as his team struggles to make it away from inside their own 20. That's tackle 5. And Mateo will play it. Hayne it is who will put the kick in. Giving it a fair roost as well from inside his own 20. That's massive. From inside his own 20. And Kevin Gordon picks it up 15 metres out from his line. A super kick from Jared Hayne.
It was an unbelievable kick and a lack of urgency from the backman for the Gold Coast Titans. William Zillman just stood there and looked. He needed to show urgency to get on the football. His team has been defending and doing it really well. Everyone needs to play a part if they're to get themselves back into this game.
They made a surge in the second half last week against the Broncos. We'll see what they get off there here tonight as Prince links up with Rogers. Now he gets a chance. Here's Minicello. Back away from Reddy. Getting in behind him. He gives it off to Gordon. He's still going. Elusive as ever. He'll fight back to his feet to play it 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. Prince on play number 5 gives it to Myers. He just bumps it towards the line. They'll set it up for Prince on the last play right here. Here he is, grubbering, chasing through with Zillman. The kick, though, taken out of play by Mateo, who was taking no chances. It looked as though it was going to bounce perhaps once more in the in-goal area. Mateo took that eventuality out of the equation, and they get themselves their first goal line dropout of the game.
Well, there's more bounce and there's more energy with the football in this second half from the Titans than what I saw from them in the first 40 minutes. I love it when Scott Prince drifts across field, showing the football, turning people under, showing and going, asking questions. They need to do more of it.
Wasn't a great goal line dropout from Jared Hayne, but it was spilt by Mark Minicello, and as a result he brings it back just inside the Eels 30. Friend throws to Myers, who stopped there by Smith, and also Reddy. 5.5 gone, no change to our half-time scoreline. Matthew White searching towards the Parramatta line. He'll play it for Friend. Now Campbell with Prince, a couple wide off the play of the ball, giving it to LaFranchi. It was beaten by Mateo. The Parramatta tried. They've got their scoring going tonight. Jonathan Wright knocks down a pass. Getting up in the line as the Parramatta outside backs like to do, but they'll give up 6 more plays on this occasion.
Yeah, well done from Parramatta, knocking the ball down, but I like what the Coast are doing. They're running them around. They're running Parramatta around. Just moving the football, looking for second phase play. If you get some second phase play, all of a sudden the defence is not set. You're coming up against a staggered line, and it's easy to defend.
Now Campbell will play it just outside the 10. Jared Hayne slapping out the ball will give away a penalty. They're going too early from marker, says Shane Hayne. And the Gold Coast took the 2 in a similar position in the first half at a similar time of the half. They won't be taking the 2 now. Here's Myers playing at 5 metres out. Friend waits at dummy half. They come to the right-hand side. Prince, a little ball in behind to Campbell. They continue to read it nicely on this left edge of Parramatta's defensive line. Harrison goes to LaFranchi. Stopped there by Hindmarsh and also Tim Manor. And they're back again 5 metres out from the line. Friend. He goes to Prince. Showing it again, stepping off the left foot. Dragged down and a good tackle by Nullavow. He plays it quickly. Friend got it away to White, who lost the ball over the line.
Well, the English on Johnny Cartwright's face. They need to be the first to score in the second half. He needed to hold on to it. He would have scored. Matty White. Prince running the football. Then Friend out of dummy half. Oh, he finds himself under the post.
He does it tough, doesn't he, up there in the coach's box. Great Penrith Panther of his day, of course, and he might become a great coach, but boy, he'll lose some hair and get some grey ones on his way to becoming a great coach, perhaps here. Eric Grove, another good run. He's been very good from his own end again here tonight. Nullavow picked off by Minicello. Stopped him in a hurry. Now Hindmarsh taking it towards the halfway line, getting them going in the right direction. They've been under the pump again to begin this second half, and now they will be with a kick from Jared Hayne, making one of his few mistakes in the last 3 or 4 months of this season, kicking out on the full, and the Titans will get it at the halfway line.
Well, they need things to go right for them, the Titans, and Jared Hayne just trying to finesse that through the line. It's over the sideline on the full, and the Titans are a very good team from scrums. They have set plays. They've got speed out wide. Let's see if they've got a special play for the final series up their sleeve.
Ashley Harrison take them back into Parramatta territory here with a full set of 6 to work it. Friend waits at dummy half, and he goes to LaFranchi, who runs away from Manor. Good run from LaFranchi. Back on the angle as ever, picking up plenty of metres right there. 15 of them. Prince on the wraparound, gives it to Friend. Minicello backing towards them, looking for an offload, but he's wrapped up by Hindmarsh. Now Prince giving it to LaFranchi again, getting plenty of touches. Good work over the top there from Manor to make sure he locked him up, and he couldn't get the ball away. Just outside the 10, here's Bailey backing at them as well as he gets to the line. They're trying to crack them, but looking for an offload, but again they wrap him up. Last play, they come back to the left. Prince off the outside of the boot. Hindmarsh is there and got a hand on it. It wasn't much, but it was enough to knock it dead. And the Titans will get 6 more from another goal line dropout.
Well, they're testing the Parramatta defence, and Parramatta's defence has stood the test of time over the last 10 weeks. Nathan Hindmarsh turning up, knocking the ball dead, and the Titans are building pressure. Can they turn this pressure into points? They need to. Otherwise, Parramatta will take a great deal of confidence out of the last 10 minutes.
Kevin Gordon brings it back to the Titans to get this set of 6 underway. They've dominated possession to begin this second half. We've had 10.5 minutes of it so far. Matt Keating is off. Kevin Kingston is out there as Matthew White loses his footing. And they stop him 25 metres out from the Eels line. Midway through this set of 6, Campbell going a long way before he gives it to Harrison. He comes down the middle of the park to try and expose them on the edges on the next play. Campbell's pass though goes to ground, picked up by Minicello. He put a step on, grabbed by Hindmarsh, and then Kingston comes over the top to finish him off. Last play again, 5 metres out. Friend goes to Prince, another grubber. This one off the boot of Robson. No call of 6 again. Still the last play for Prince, who comes across, puts another kick in. A chance for David Mead. He didn't really contest. He realised he was going to take a loop curve in mid-air, and the Eels continue to hang on.
Well, the defence is too good. They work together, and they peel off the tackle so well. That's what gives them the time. They get numbers in, they peel back, they're set, they push forward. And they're really struggling to come up with any play, the Titans, to expose the Eels.
Working forward through Kingston, and was run there by Harrison. 15 on his own side of halfway when he plays it here. Hayne comes up for the kick under some pressure from Friend on his right foot, so he has to change the angle, and as a result, just couldn't put a lot on it. David Mead brings it back to almost the halfway line.
Well, they're getting good starts with the football, the Gold Coast Titans. They're just not taking advantage of it. And this Parramatta side has been unrelenting with the way that they've defended.
The longer the Eels hang on, the closer you get to possession and position turning around in this second half. They need to show something for what they've had so far, the Titans. Here's Walker almost getting away from Jonathan Wright. Perhaps playing his last game in the NRL, Chris Walker. If they lose, he's off to the UK Super League to link up the Bradford Bulls for 2010. Here he is from dummy half, giving it to Prince, who kicks again. Not a good one, it has to be said. Reddy takes it. 5 metres out, a bit of a nothing kick from Scott Prince. It wasn't a grubber, it wasn't a bomb. It was a turnover of possession. And here's Growth getting away from them. Dragged down from behind by a desperate Titans forward. He brought it all the way back to the 30-metre line. It was a big tackle made by Matthew White. Otherwise, Growth goes a long way.
He's a handful, Eric Growth, when he's carrying the football, and that's what you need off your wingers, bringing the ball out from your own line. But that kick from Scotty Prince was a sign of frustration, losing their way, frustrated by the fact they can't crack this Parramatta side.
Here they are, kicking from the other side of the halfway line for the first time in a long time. Robson's kick will bounce dead. They won't mind that. They've got a couple of seconds here to catch their breath before the Titans bring it back out to their own 20. Well, Eric Growth was asked during the week, did he have any aspirations of going on the Four Nations tour with the Australian side? He said, not even thinking about that. Trust me, given what's happened in recent seasons, of course, when he's been asked to play rep football and hasn't shown too much keenness to do so. But the form he's in, he wouldn't look out of place on some sort of tour at the moment. Here's Rogers bringing it back to the halfway line. Friend from dummy half. Show it to White before he straightens. They'll play it here after 4. And just outside the Parramatta 40. They come on the attack again, but looking for a better kick than they've shown so far in the game. Campbell taking them on, or could have got a penalty, and will. Hindmarsh knew there was a quick one coming and dragged him back down. And it gives the Titans another set of 6 in close range to the Parramatta line. He's got some blood flowing as well from a nasty cut to that left eyebrow.
It was a good run there by Preston Campbell. 5th tackle, he knew what was required. He had to get to his feet and play the football as fast as he could. And the Titans are coming once again, and a turnover from Minicello.
That is hard to believe. Nathan Hindmarsh has as we said, a nasty cut, a lot of blood flowing right there, and he will have to change that jumper if the referee see it's got some blood on it. But boy, that's a big mistake, and it's Ben Smith throwing the left arm in there, knocking the ball away.
On tackle 1, you don't give yourself an opportunity to build any pressure, and it's the way that he was carrying the football. You're holding the football like that, any contact on the ball will force it loose, and it's irresponsible. You cannot afford to have a loose carry, lose the football, tackle 1 from attack. Just a set carry, taking the ball forward.
He hit the line very square, didn't he? Mark Minicello in an upright position, didn't turn his shoulder to protect the ball at all. As a result, the Eels under no pressure off the back of it. And here they are. Going to work their way to their own end once again. Luke Bird weaving his way towards the 30-metre line. Moy is back out there. They came up quickly when they saw him. What a battle he had with Michael Henderson in that first half. They came together a couple of times very, very heavily. Kalis will play it just beyond the 40. Hayne floating to the line. Perhaps no idea in his mind what he was going to do. Dummy. Tried to jink his way through. Was wrapped up as a result. Didn't get a kick away. In turn, Robson tries to. Charged down by Matthew White, who makes another important play. He gets his team 6 tackles, 40 metres out from the Parramatta line.
That's a great sacrifice for your team from Matthew White, the big front rower, applying pressure. He forces the charge down. He gets the turnover. And now the Titans. Chris Walker out of dummy half. Crabbing across field, not really going anywhere.
First chance Daniel Anderson gets. You get a message out to Jared Haynes saying you cannot afford to get caught on the 5th play with the ball in your hand. Scott Prince is screaming at his men after being driven backwards in the tackle. He knows their season is running out of gas. Here he is, kicking towards the corner, chipping one over the top, looking for Gordon, who I think might have played at the ball, having left the ground in the field of play. But they couldn't keep it in the field of play, off the tap back, and as a result, Parramatta will have the scrum feed at their own 10.
Well, Titans with the football look as though they've exhausted all avenues to score points. They're just not coming up with the plays that are required. They started it in the first half. They were rolling forward and Prince was getting across field and turning people under. Well, after you've turned people under a few times, then look to go wide. If you're going wide, then look to turn people under on a cross play. But there's been no real variety, but no real roll on through their set. It's been a real stop-start efforts in their set.
The Eels got off to a great start to this set with Moi punching holes in the Titans' defence. Lowry trying to do likewise right here. Will play it inside his own 40. Here's Mateo, who kicks early, didn't get much of it. Will bounce up pretty nicely here for William Zillman. In fact, it bounces towards the in-goal area. Talk about a friendly bounce there for Parramatta. And what was an average kick turned out to be okay because Reddy made the tackle on Zillman inside the Titans' 20. Going early in the tackle count, mixing it up, relieving the pressure on Jared Hayne to keep coming up with kicks. Well, it wasn't a great one from Mateo. It worked out okay. Tagateezy playing. A Frankie giving it to Campbell. Flat ball. Harrison rattled once again here. Meant the good tackle by Lowry, who might have hurt himself as well. He's on the ground still. The Parramatta lock forward. Campbell darting underneath him. Craig Catterick, the Parramatta trainer, straight on the field to check out Todd Lowry. The kick from Prince. Sitting up for Eric Growth. Look out. Here he comes again, giving it to Jared Hayne, who tries to beat Matt Rogers. Hale tried to steal the ball from the fullback, but he wasn't able to do so, and Hayne will play it just outside his own 10.
Eric Grove carrying the ball forward. The Parramatta's advantage when they've had the football has started early in their sets. And when you start your set with a couple of good runs and good momentum, it's easier to get your kick. The Titans, their first couple of plays haven't been great. They've started to get momentum late in the tackle count, then they've run out of tackles, they've had to kick. Just need to work harder early in the tackle count, the Titans.
No whirly kick this time from Parramatta. Moi tips it on from right, away to Luke Burt. He comes to Zillman, comes away from the sideline, links up with Kevin Kingston, and Parramatta running to a date with the Bulldogs. What an option late in the tackle counts.
Collision back here. The support player running through.
We are just going to check it though to make sure it was all clean as far as any contact between Eels and Titans were concerned as it developed down this left-hand touchline.
I think it was okay. I think actually Scott Prince pulls the man away out of the play. Running the football. They have the numbers, a well-constructed short side, Fui. The ability to pass the ball. Jonathan Wright, a lovely pass to Luke Burt, and it's Scotty Prince. He pulls Jonathan Wright down. And what about the pass from Luke Burt? Finding the replacement hooker, Kevin Kingston, back on the inside. The hand goes up, he celebrates with his supporters. And the Eels, this will be a 4-pointer. And extend their lead, and they will be ecstatic, this home crowd.
Well, with so much on the line tonight, I guess the referees were being ultra cautious. And while Preston Inu can't take the field again tonight with a hamstring injury, he's watching his side put the Titans away perhaps here. An hour gone. 17-2 it is, and the Titans have had so many chances in this second half, unable to come up with points. And a great piece of play to spread the ball late in the tackle count, resulting in Kevin Kingston coming up with a try. It'll make it a tough assignment now, won't it? The Gold Coast Titans with Burt about to convert to make it 19-2. And the Titans would have to score 3 converted tries unanswered to take the lead.
I think Parramatta will show us what they've got now. Even though there's still plenty of time, if good enough, for the Titans. I think that Parramatta will rise in this next 20 minutes, and they could put us, or show us, all their skills. There's been some tremendous skill on display, but I think it could go to another level in the last 20 minutes. Just see that catch and pass, catch and pass. Luke Burt, the speedster, away. Kevin Kingston, like a good hooker, pushing through the middle as a support player. Been a very, very good performance from the Eels.
A couple of great draw and passes there, weren't there? The first one from Wright and the second one from Luke Burt. Beautifully worked. We'll wait and see if Kristen Inu, should Parramatta go on to shut this one down and advance to the Bulldogs. We'll wait and see if Inu is okay to take his place next week against the Bulldogs. A game you'd imagine could be played at ANZ Stadium. And I reckon between the Blue and Gold Army and the Blue and White Army, they'll just about fill it as well.
What a matchup. It's a classic matchup for the NRL. A game they'd be looking forward to. And now the Titans have given away a penalty. Jared Hayne getting to his feet, looking for a fast play the ball. And I think Parramatta, they can smell points.
Here they are on the attack once again with Reddy. Tapping it, giving it to Robson. Moy. Just terrific once again tonight. Still going is fighting out of tackles. Bailey taking on a bit of a ride right there. He'll play it just outside the Titans 40. Now Mateo turning Lowry back underneath on the angle. He lost his footing. And he was set upon by Ashley Harrison. Kingston comes down the short side for Mateo. Try his luck. With his bulk and his footwork, he was a bit of a handful there for Scotty Prince. He plays it for Kingston. Now Robson. He's done nicely. Got through his work without Mortimer alongside him. Mateo is fielding so well on this left edge. Here comes Kingston back to the left-hand side for Mateo. Showing it on play number 5. He'll play it there about 5 out from the Titans line. Last one right here. They'll look for Hayne. Robson might look for Smith again. In fact, he goes wider this time. Eric Grove trying to catch and flick it back in the one motion. Wasn't able to do so. And that will be the turnover. 10 metres out from the Titans line.
I think there was a lack of communication there. Jared Hayne ran from the right side of the field round to the left side, screaming for the football. It ended up in the arms of Jeff Robson. He placed it across to Eric Grove. Grove couldn't come down with the football. But defensively, they've been great tonight. And there's another good shot. Fui on Michael Henderson. And haven't we seen that a number of times tonight?
One-on-one tackle. He hit and he stuck with him as well to drag him to the ground. Bailey now playing it for Friend. He gives it off to Walker, coming in, looking for a run, but met there by Kalis and also Kingston. Harrison. Simple stuff from the Titans out of their own end. Beginning to the point of the game, they need to take a real chance. And here's Prince kicking long. 24 position at the moment, wanting some backspin. Sat down for a moment before it went on. Trickle over the dead ball line. And Parramatta will gladly and slowly bring it back out for the optional restart.
28,000. And the majority of those supporters are Parramatta supporters. A big crowd supporting the home team from Sydney. But defensively with Parramatta, the way that they communicate, the way that they work, they line up on their players. They're very well drilled in that department, and it's keeping them in all their games.
Here's Fui again. David Mead, who was a long way in from his right wing, defending 3 or 4 in right there. He didn't fancy Fui Moy coming at him.
How good's Fui playing? Charging straight onto the football, regardless of whether it's a front row or winger. Fui does not change his style.
Here's a bomb put up for ready to come through. He came up with it as well. He put it on the toe, but kicked it straight to Matt Rogers. He had support around him. Teammates screaming for the ball. He put a kick in. Found the man in white wearing number 6.
He's very good with the ball in the air. Young Reddy. They've got some outstanding loopers. As Chris Walker gets on the outside of Jonathan Wright, and they turn the football over. David Mead, a pass around his ankles. Couldn't control it.
Well, it had to come. They were very conservative on their previous set of 6 from inside their own 20 or 30. This time they had to spread it or put something on. When they tried, the pass wasn't a great one from Walker to Mead. His bootlaces there, and through his hands and over the sideline, and well, Parramatta come up with a try, even though it looks as though they've got the game well in their keeping at the moment. They can make sure of it with a 4-pointer right here, you'd imagine, off the back of this scrum. A bit of advice in running from Jared Maxwell for Todd Lowry, not packing in, staying in the scrum. Here is Jonathan Wright, who goes straight through them. Parramatta's game it is. They will go to week 3, and you can start buying your tickets now, you Eels fans. Eels versus Bulldogs, a dream matchup for the NRL in the preliminary final. And yet again, a simple miss in defence by the Titans cost them dearly.
Off a scrum, Jonathan Wright. Luke Bailey. Luke Bailey missing the tackle, and Jonathan Wright may well have not have been playing semi-final football. He's in this team given that Kristen Inu is out, and he is getting better and better with each performance. First try of his career, and a memorable one. Second week of the finals, and Parramatta, the juggernaut. We'll talk about momentum. Well, it's steaming ahead.
Jonathan Wright. Well, we'll wait and see if he's in the team next week with Kristen Inu getting closer, coming back from that hamstring injury. But boy, it might be a tough call for Daniel Anderson, the way this former Newcastle Knight is playing at the moment. He spent 2008 with Wentworthville. Parramatta's feeder club, of course. His form was so good. He was given a chance with the Eels this season. He grabs his first try, and an opportune moment tonight to put this one away for Parramatta. They will go on. The Titans season will finish with 3 straight losses, 2 of them in the finals. Of course, they go out in straight sets, and they have yet to be held scoreless in their 3-season history. They're on track at the moment with just over 11 minutes remaining in this game. It'll also be their lowest ever score at just 2. Their lowest before this was 4 in the NRL. The kick goes down to be taken by Robson, and Nathan Kalis, the skipper it is, who will bring it back out. 25 points to 2. Moi again. He has been so good. Anderson would be thinking, where do I take him off the field just to make sure he's okay for next week? But here they go again. Hands to the left-hand side, and it's Wright who's almost away again. A real handful there for David Mead and Scott Prince. Pretty comfortable up in that coach's box, didn't he, Daniel Anderson? And why wouldn't he? His team charging towards this date next week with the Bulldogs. Kingston now from dummy half will kick. A terrific one once again. The kicking game hasn't been as good as it could be tonight, under some pressure from the Gold Coast Titans defenders, but in attack on both ends of the field, they have just been superb.
Well, that's the scary thing about this Parramatta side. You mentioned the kicking game. Kicking games are so important. Yet it hasn't been great tonight, yet they still had a dominant display. If you're Daniel Anderson sitting up there at half-time, you were that confident. You were that confident that your team would go on and win the game. It was just a matter of how much. Because they were doing things easily.
Ball now out the back. We picked up here by Preston Campbell from Sam Tagatese, the man who knocked Daniel Mortimer out of the game. The Titans make another error. The handling wasn't too bad in the first half. They completed 14 of 17 sets. But given the field position they had in the opening 15 minutes of this second half, they had to come away with something. They were unable to do so. And in the end, it'll be a defeat on a rather large scoreline.
It's so important when you apply pressure for long periods that you have to be able to put points on the board. The opposition, if they defend, they take so much confidence from that. They're basically saying to you, that's the best you got. We are going to hold you out. No matter what you throw at us tonight, we will back our defence against your skill level with the ball.
Beating back on his feet. Here's Kingston getting out to Carlos, who goes straight through another Bailey tackle. Back on the inside. They'll play it there through Ben Smith, just outside the Titans 20. Robson goes to Hayne. Oh, what a catch. He gives it off. They keep it going. Keating dumps it off. Picked off by Jonathan Wright. He tries to straighten. It goes through the hands of Nullavow. Matter gets there. He gives it back to Jared Hayne. Why not? He steps. He goes left. He goes right. He does a full 360. And in the end, he's wrapped up by Nathan Friend. And they'll give away a penalty as well. And the Eels, you would imagine, would say, we'll take the two. Boys, you can watch us take the two. A little moment there between Hayne and Luke Bailey. He's fired up the ball. I can't imagine what about.
Well, what about Jared Hayne, his pickup? Off his toes, I think it was left-handed. Luke Bailey will argue with the referee. Unbelievable. And then the pass to back it up. You're told if you receive a bad pass, then you just run with it. You hold on to it. Don't make error on error. If you recover from a bad pass, hang on to it, but not Jared Hayne. His mentality is just play. Just play. I do it naturally. He's not happy with what happened in the tackle.
And Luke Bailey was laying over the top of him and he just gave him a little nudge. Nothing more than that, Jared Hayne, to say, you can jump off me anytime you like. There's some concern there for the ankle of Jonathan Wright. And what we just saw, he doesn't look too right. From beside the uprights, Luke Burt makes it 27-2. The game has long been over as far as the result is concerned, but there's still 6.5 minutes remaining, 6.5 important minutes for the Eels to get through as unscathed as they possibly can. It'll be a long week as Daniel Mortimer tries to overcome that hip injury. It'll be a situation, I'm sure there'll be 24-hourly updates. He's going to be right to play or not. We're talking about taking Fui Moi Moi off the field a little moment ago. I'll tell you what, I'd have Jared Hayne off right now.
You took the words out of my mouth. Jared Hayne, he would be the first player that would be sitting on my interchange bench. I would not run the risk of him getting injured. Jay Nullavow, a good run.
Here he is playing it for Kingston. So work it away towards the 40-metre line. Fui Moi Moi does get the early mark. His work outstanding all night. Got them going early when they had to. They're under some pressure. So many times. Took them on in the middle of the park from their own end. Was able to pick up some metres for the Eels. Here's the kick from Robson. Over the head here of Zillman. Will bounce up. Walker will come in, snatch it. Only has a few moments left in his NRL career. Will be wrapped up there by Robbie and also Smith.
We spoke about maybe taking Jared Hayne from the field. I don't know if they can afford to do that given that Wright and Daniel Mortimer are both injured, but Jared Hayne has been pushed over to the left wing and Luke Burt is now at fullback. So they're giving him a bit of a rest.
That's a good idea. There's Minicello playing it for Friend as they take it forward through Henderson. Campbell. Will kick from inside his own 40. It's too late for 40-20s, but that's exactly what they'll come up with here. They needed more of that earlier in the going. Preston Campbell earns his side a scrum feed, 15 out from the Parramatta line. I guess they will go back to the sheds after this one and think about a number of things, the Gold Coast Titans, but they'll think ahead of 2010 that they have to somehow come up with a way to work out how they can win on the road. Because while they were 5 wins out of 12 games on the road this season, there weren't too many teams with a better record as far as on the road. It really does hurt them, the difference between their performances at Skilled Park and what they offer, especially when they come to Sydney.
Yeah, obviously it's a mental thing that they need to overcome. I still think they need some big bodies in their forwards. I think at times it showed again tonight. Just a relenting pounding from the Parramatta forwards, surging through the middle of the park. And I think they can take a lot out of this season. 3rd year in the competition. Dropped ball there, but 3rd year in the competition, they finished 3rd. They can build on that. Yes, they've been knocked out their first 2 weeks, but they'll take a lot out of it. They will take a great deal from this. It'll be burning inside them. It should add as a motivation next year. It should spur them on in pre-season. And the Titans should be ready to roar again in 2010. They want success, but to get a success, you have to earn it. It doesn't come easy, but they're a team up for the challenge.
They'll have to wait now until March of next year. Parramatta look ahead to a game next Friday night against the Bulldogs. One not to miss. John Cartwright comes down to the Gold Coast bench. He'll take this tough. Only Big Cardi. He's seen a tremendous pride in his team in his time as their coach, of course, the inaugural Titans coach. He's got into the finals for the first time this year, but tonight they've been soundly beaten by a class outfit, and who knows how far the Eels might go. Here's the tape. They're back towards the half-goal line. They played here on the last. Drops back to the ground. He's looking for a penalty. Now down the short side. Now he gives it to Jared Hayne. You can't keep him out of the game. He puts it on the toe. And then coming across, Williams-Elman knocks it out of play. And he's supposed to be out there having a rest, but he's irresistible.
Well, he's a magnet for the football. I'm sure the Parramatta players, when they see Jared Hayne, they're thinking he needs the ball. He can do more with the ball than I can. Let's watch his brilliance. Let's watch his magic. And he nearly produced another bit of it. Fantastic player, Jared Hayne. The red boots and all. I'm not a fan of red boots.
Oh, I love the red boots. I bought a pair the other week. I now mow the grass in them. Do the edges, I sweep the gutters, I wear the red boots. There's something about those red boots. Surprised he didn't wear them with the Dally M's. Didn't need to, as it turned out. He won in his street shoes. Here's Matt flipping it out the back from Robson. He comes back to Nathan Kalis. He goes to ground after losing his footing. And they'll finish the game in the Titans 20 right here. A touch by Tagatese. That'll be a knock-on against Sam. And I'll get the scrum feed here. We'll have the final crack at them inside the final 60 seconds.
I think their fans want one more try. None of them have left. They're after more points. The Parra chant is going up. Let's see whether the players can respond and produce something a little bit special with 60 seconds to go.
Kevin Kingston again packing in a block forward with both he and Keating on the field. The back end of this game. Luke Burke plays it. Robson goes across to Tim Matt. Of course, our thoughts, his brother John, Sharks front rower. He's battling cancer at the moment. Tim certainly playing like a man inspired, isn't he? Here's Mateo giving it to Kalis, coughing it up at the line. Under some pressure there from the Titans defence. And the man they call Bull, Luke Bailey, brings it back towards the 20. They'll play it here. Jordan Atkins getting a chance late in the game to get a touch. They'll count down the final few seconds, these Parramatta fans. Matt Rogers, a ball back on the inside for Preston Campbell. He can't come up with it. Tim Manor can. It's Parramatta's game. And I tell you what, strap yourself in for a hell of a ride next week when it's the Eels versus the Bulldogs for a place in the grand final. What a game that will be. What a performance here tonight. On short rest, the Eels beat the Titans 27 points to 2.